Wait a minute. None. Right. Okay. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Um, Let me say hi. It looks like everybody's talking, so I'm sure everybody's name will be on this list. Hey, Ann Lewis, Seashell, Jean Phillips, Lacey Black. Hi, haven't seen you in a bit. Samoa, Michelle Maria, and Sherry Leach. How's everybody doing today? Now make sure I'm on live chat, not top chat. Um, Things are pretty quiet today. Uh, I have been doing I have been doing pool. No, I actually haven't been in the pool since yesterday. Um, I was in a lot of pain last night when I went to bed. I was trying to get my stuff together, my Apple and my make sure I had my phone and all that stuff. And as I was walking back and forth, my left ankle started giving out. And not just giving out, but I mean, stabbing with pain. And it was really bad. So, but I don't like taking the strong prescription painkillers. But I had to last night. But I don't like taking them because I have discovered they do change. They do interact with my mood meds, and so I found that I was really um, uh, ticked off about 48. Last time I took them, I took one dose, and 48 hours later I'm really bitchy, right? So I have to be really careful and not use them not use them unless I absolutely have to. Hey, Julie Otson, Mama Cat, Jean Phillips, how's everybody doing? So I'm starting to save my seeds. Hey Yoshi, happy Sunday. My Manitoba tomatoes just keep coming. They just keep coming. I have, one of those reusable big shopping bags. I have one that's about quarter full. And I bet you over the next couple of weeks, I will almost fill that bag. And that should be enough for um, that should be enough for a pot of canning spaghetti sauce. So, hi Anne, how are you, darling? I'm I've hit a kind of a wall. I hit kind of a wall. I said that yesterday, or I was talking about it the day before. I don't know how many days, but I kind of hit a wall. I had no idea how much these last 2 years, and especially these last couple of weeks, have impacted me mentally and emotionally and spiritually, right? So I've taken a step back I've not taken a step back from you guys, right? But I've taken a step back from Facebook. No, I still post on Facebook, but I don't go into Facebook. I go on my private page. Hi, Corey C. Hi, Sue Marie. How are you, darling? I'm so happy I made your live today. Hope Howie's doing. Oh, he's doing great. He's doing great. If he had his way, he'd go back to work tomorrow. But me and the doctor both said 2 weeks full, 2 full weeks. So he doesn't go back till the 23rd. So I made us a nice salad for lunch. I got a slightly underripe little Manitoba tomato. And I liked it slightly underripe. Why? Because I was putting it through the chopper. And then I found a big cucumber because I haven't made any pickles yet. And every time I get a big cucumber, I just use it in something. But this one, the skin was good. These are pickling cucumbers, but the skin was starting to go orange, which means it was, ready to go to seed. So what I did was I peeled it and then I scooped out all the seeds. I spread them on a paper towel. That's a video later this week. To dry. And I'll explain in the video on our half acre homestead why I do it that way. It would hit you bad. You now have to take one day at a time. Yeah. To the seed place, Cash Kingsley, D. Hi, Seashell. I don't know what seed place you're talking about, honey. Cash Kingsley, I don't know. I actually haven't been canning. My last picking of beans, I was going to can my celery, but I left it in the water too long and it went bad in the heat. I've never had that happen with celery. I've seen it go slimy. I've seen it go split, but I've never seen it actually go soft and mushy. Well, yeah. Of course I'm looking after Howie. I'm to the point now where yesterday I said to Howie, I said, I can't do anything. And he said, then don't. I went, okay. But it took me until like 4 o'clock to just, sitting staring at my computer to realize that I just was against a wall and, work wise. The seed crop cash kings. Oh, crop king seeds. It's crop. Hang on a second. All you had to do was Google crop king seeds, honey. Do you have a video for canning potatoes? Oh, of course I do. Just go. Okay. One last time. I'm going to give you, because I know I have one really good video on home economics and potatoes. It's in my home economics. I've got a heat rash too. Hey
friends, this is Miss Wolfie from our house.
Oh, shut homestead. Up, you old bag. All right, there you go. There's crop king seeds. Paste. What phone line issues, Mark? Oops. I gotta push that back up so I can see where I am. Yes, there's my video for canning potatoes. There's the link for crop king seeds. Bev, can I double stack half pints with a rack in between to water bath? Yeah. I don't see why not. As long as they got a rack in between them, I don't see why not. And as long as the water in your canner is 1 inch to 2 inches above the jars on the top. And you don't necessarily have to, you want to bring it to a rolling boil and then just turn it down a bit so that it's bubbling, not splashing all over your stove, right? You're welcome, darling. You're welcome, you're welcome. Hey, Martha, how's it going? How's it going? So I have been unconsciously, without thinking about it, backing away from social media because I discovered, hey, Presto 23 core. Oh, well, there, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. I watched your rug frame being built, but haven't found anything else on it from 7 years ago because I haven't had time. And it's down the basement. And I've got a quilt to finish before I can bring that upstairs and put it in the quilts place. Hi, Just Jen. I'm doing good. I'm trying to get as many canned up foods as I can because they say it's going to get bad weather-wise and economy-wise. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. And I realized I had a really big epiphany this week because I always, it's a hazy thing, but I remember they doubled your line rent for your phone or something. No, that was so long ago. That was that they had been charging me for 2 years for NHL Center Ice on Bell TV, even though we had canceled it. And they just auto-renewed it for 2 years, and they hid it in the bill so I couldn't see it. Long time ago. Thank you so much. Wasn't looking in the right place. That's okay, sweetheart. I have lots of canning potatoes videos. I mean, I have lots of videos, period, right? So anyway, whenever I release a video, it automatically goes to whoever's dinged the little, like is subscribed and has dinged the little bell to make sure that they get, and every once in a while just resubscribe and ding the little bell again, like make sure it has the percussion marks. Because if you haven't seen a video in a week of mine, YouTube will bump you from my subscriber list. They actually went so far as to send me an email saying, we're revamping all your video, anybody who's an inactive member, we're going to bump. And I was like, okay, right? But I mean, I can't do anything about it except remind you guys. So when I get up and I've done, my morning chores and all that stuff, and I sit down and then I share it to Facebook page, my Facebook page, Respectful Hearts page, and then I share it to Twitter. Now, sometimes later in the day, I will have forgotten whether or not I shared it or not, so I will double check and I will go. But Twitter, if you share something twice within, I don't know, 6 hours of it, if you try to share it again, a red bar will come up and say, no, don't share that again. You've already done that. And yep, YouTube is crazy. And hey, Tracy, Aldo, hi, Sisha, aloha, Carla, forehand, and Sue Marie. So the other day, earlier in the week, I posted one of my videos on Twitter, and I disconnected it. But a headline caught my eye about mandating vaccines and mandatory vaccines coming to Canada and all that stuff. And I got so angry. So angry. And the sad part is that every third thing on Twitter is something, it's like they're prying into your privacy. They want to know why you're not vaccinated. Are you unvaccinated still? Why? Tell us why. Okay, it's none of your business, right? Or you know what I mean? And it's so viciously violating. It really, really is. So that's what this was, Lacey Black. This was the epiphany. Social media is a crap storm of negativity. Like even on Facebook, I will post stuff on Facebook, but I won't scroll through Facebook. I will only scroll through my Respectful Hearts Facebook page. Why? Because it's a place where we can go to feel safe. So how are we supposed to? Hey, Sandy, how's it going? Crazy J. Yeah, I know, sweetheart. I'm really sorry, Aldo. I mean, putting down someone. That's the thing with pets, right? I mean, we may go through several pets because we live longer than they do. But you are their whole life. You are their family for their entire life. And so how people can mistreat pets is beyond me. Because that's all they're there for, is for you. And I'm really, really sorry that you had to let your pet go, your Shiba go. Although I'm really sorry to hear that. So when TikTok for me is something totally different. Because if I don't like it in the first 3 seconds, I just scroll, right? And it's not so easy to do in Facebook and Twitter, because when you scroll, you see a lot of negative stuff repeatedly, people getting in arguments. And I realize that even public media is dividing the people. Okay? Oh, mandatory vaccinations in Canada, and you Canadians are weak, and families against families over vaccinations and all this. It's almost like social media and mainstream media are driving people into a negative frenzy with distractions, so that we don't even get time to have a breath, to take a step back and do some critical thinking, because we're being barraged constantly, 7 days a week. Hi, Meredith. How are you? Hey, Mama Missy. So here's my thing. I post stuff, but I don't go there. When I go on Facebook, I go on to talk to, like I did, and I made a post about Twitter on regular Facebook, and it's like, people start coming out of the woodwork, right? And the thing is it's all designed to keep us in a constant state of fight or flight. Because when we're in a constant state of mental and emotional upheaval, we can't think straight, and it's easier to pull everything over us because we're so busy doing this that we can't see what's right in front of us, right? Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. So, I mean, yes, we have TV, but guess what? Even one of my favorite TV shows was really, really pushing the vaccines. And it's like, don't you understand that the more people get angry at unvaccinated people, you're causing a separation in society yet again, right? I really don't do much of Facebook. I play on TikTok, but I only go on TikTok, I scroll until I find exactly what I want that's going to feed me emotionally and spiritually. And the rest, I just scroll on by. I just keep scrolling and move on. But Facebook feels more, and I don't know how TikTok cannot feel personal, but Facebook feels more personal because we've got a lot of family in there and a lot of friends in there. And what happens is people start judging each other. And that's not our job, right? So, yeah, exactly. So I didn't realize that until I saw Twitter and I got really upset, and then the light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, this is deliberate. This is deliberate. I mean, mainstream and social media is doing nothing but keep our minds and our hearts in chaos. Turn it off. I am unplugging from. I don't watch regular TV. Like, I have a show, but I watch it on demand so that I can just mute the commercials and power watch, right? I watch Netflix so that I don't have to deal with commercials, right? I go to my Respectful Hearts Facebook page for camaraderie and sympathy. Like, when I say sympathy, I don't mean I'm sad, I need sympathy. I mean sympathetic feelings. We all share, a lot of the same things, right? So I'm encouraging everybody to unplug from the things that make you negative. Unplug the things that make you angry or sad or confused or give you anxiety. That's not entertainment. That's social control, right? Last flu season, we were keeping 6 feet apart and wore masks. This flu season should be a humdinger. I mean, touch wood, I haven't had the flu in 3 years. As a matter of fact, 2020, fall 2020 was when I should have had it because I get it every 2 to 3 years. But because of social distancing and masks, I haven't, and the fact that I live fairly isolated, I haven't gotten sick. So, which is funny since I've just filmed one, but I may act in them, but I can't stand watching them. Rarely watch any live TV anymore. I forget what Howie and I were watching, but a whole bunch of commercials came on. Big Brother but it was like I was seeing TV for the first time. Because all these ads for all these shows that they were advertising were all studio shows, Big Brother, talk shows, cook-offs and all these things. But it was like, is this, if this is what I'm missing, I'm not missing anything, right? To me, because I don't watch commercials, because I don't watch mainstream TV, right? I got kind of a culture shock watching all these bright pink and yellow plastic commercials about people, you know, doing shit that makes no sense. Like, what's the point, right? Now he's depressed because my dad had a mini stroke Tuesday, and last year he had colon cancer. Um, Now he's depressed because he thinks that my stroke was because of him. Well, you know what? That's his shit, not yours. You just say to him, don't try and talk him out of it. Just say, Dad, if that's the way you feel, you're bringing me down, okay? And I need some positivity in my life. So let go of this crap that you're holding on to, because you're not just bringing yourself down, you're bringing me down. And we need to look forward to life, not backward from our mistakes and our accidents and our illnesses, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Howie having a heart attack was the most frightening thing I have ever experienced in my life, hands down, because I wasn't there. I couldn't see his color. I couldn't take his temperature. I couldn't do anything like that. Hey, Patricia Carson, how's it going? Um, and so that was the hardest part, because my experience with heart attacks is totally different. Mine, my last experience with a heart attack was in the 80s or not early 90s. And so, I mean, and it wasn't me, it was a family member, and it was really crazy, right? But we were so, I mean, wow. It's one of those moments where you step out in front of a train and somebody pulls you back and you go, shit, I didn't even see that coming. You know what I mean? So it was like a real near miss. And we're taking it very seriously. We are taking it very seriously. We're lowering our carbs, upping our veg and meat, and more chicken than red, and all those things. Exactly. I've gotten a lot better since my stroke last year, and now I'm just feeling kind of bad. Well, find out why you're feeling bad and do something about it. And now, I don't mean, and I'm not talking about people that suffer clinical depression and stuff like that, because I wouldn't be that disrespectful for you to tell you to focus on something else and get over it. That's not how that works. But when you are just maybe in a slump, then maybe doing a gratitude list, or stepping on a different square in your life and looking at your life from a different perspective, and find reasons to celebrate every single day. Every single day. Thanks for that. Moving forward, of course, Howie's issues freaked you out. Thank God you had experience to know what was happening. Well, in this case, my experiences did me nothing but cause me to freeze in fear, because my dad had a heart attack and dropped dead in the ER. You know, my brother Billy, my cousin Jimmy, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, God rest his soul, Howie Sr., all are what they call the zipper chest club, the zipper club, where they have, scars up the middle of their chest from being cracked and having bypasses done. And I mean, this is what I thought I was facing. So I was like petrified, right? But I mean, somebody asked me to tell how I managed it. Yeah, I got emotional on live stream, because you're my people. I come to you when I got no one else that's going to hear me, right? I didn't want platitudes. I just wanted to get rid of this horrible, helpless, powerless feeling, right? Hey, Steven, I started saving seeds today. So, hi, Joanne. How are you, darling? Okay. All right, Aldo. I hope. How did the market go today, Stephen? How did the market go today? So, what I'm talking about is taking the power of our serenity and our peace of mind, our peace of heart, our peace of soul back into our own hands. Hand it over to God, not social media, guys. Social media is designed to divide people. Malka Ringle, you're a strong woman of courage, Bev, and a wealth of experience and knowledge. I remember us. Thank you. Bipolar before the stroke, so I was trying to get better and I was managing with no meds. Now I'm just in a swamp again. Did the bipolar meds cause your stroke? And if not, then why are you not on them? Because I mean, bipolar is nothing to be. I'm borderline bipolar, but it's been managed for 29 years with a high dose of antidepressants. And don't think that doesn't cloud who I am. It's taken me years to get where I am now, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, when it could have happened 20 years ago, right? But sometimes when we have to medicate for medical reasons, it kind of interrupts our brain and how we connect with our faith, right? I meant you remember your YouTube and Facebook family. Well, of course. Health is a journey. It really is. And I mean, when we were at Costco and I was doing things like lifting flour and putting flour in the truck, and Howie said, Bev, don't you drop dead of a heart attack. I said, my heart's in better shape than yours, Howie. Because I'm not diabetic and I don't have high blood pressure. And my cholesterol's a little wonky, but I will not let them put me on cholesterol meds preventatively or diabetes meds preventatively when all we needed was a change of diet, right? I won't let them put me on medicine preventatively because every time you take more of a chemical substance, you're interrupting actually the way your body wants to operate, right? I'm not saying don't take meds. I'm just saying you got to be careful to keep in touch with, your faith. Hey, Joe Mama, how's it going? No vax for the hacks. I saw you on TikTok. I like your stance on anti-vax, here to support. Well, I am not anti-vax, sweetheart. First of all, welcome to Life with the Wolfies. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not. I am pro-choice. And I said that twice on my little rant. So, and it's okay. It's okay for people to be, but I am pro-choice. I do not want that vaccination. I have too many drug interactions. I have seen I have seen what's being suppressed in the media on how some people are reacting to this. So, hey, Vicky, how are you? Edie Murray. But you're welcome. You're welcome to stay, Novax. You're welcome to stay. I mean, we talk about stuff here. We don't rant. Here we're trying to make a point of pushing the negativity out of our lives because it does us no good, right? Oh, you're more than welcome, honey. Better after Friday fall. You fell on Friday, Vicky? What happened? Michelle Maria, what is for dinner tonight? Chicken, instant rice, my vegetable infused instant rice. And I'm going to go out and see if I can't grab some stuff out of the garden to stir fry. Joe Mama, I need advice. My 80-year-old neighbor who is a baseball coach and runs 3 miles a day, never ate anything, just had a heart attack. Sometimes, Aldo, sometimes you can do everything right, like Howie, and still have a heart attack. Sometimes people like Howie are a genetic perfect storm for heart disease. And there's, you could live on lettuce and still have heart disease. Do you mind if I ask a food related question? You can ask anything you want. We just kind of avoid politics and anything that's going to, cause people to argue. Gave blood for test walk out of hospital and fell. Oh, you kidding? You went for blood tests and you walk out of the hospital and fell? Did you walk back into the hospital and get checked out? Oh, honey. Just supporting, be supportive, Aldo. It happens, even with clean eating and living. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Vicky, I hope you did. So are you okay? Did you get checked out? Make sure you're not hurt. Oh, that was my screen. So, oh, Vicky, you were right there, honey. What did you hurt? I wanted to know which dehydrator would you recommend. I'm shopping for your first one. Well, your first one should always be a Nesco over an Excalibur. Why? Because Nesco, you can get all the parts on a small, like on 4 trays. They'll give you a fruit leather tray and 2 screens and all that stuff. I haven't bought one in years, but they are a lot. When I was buying my Nescos, they were like $56, and the Excaliburs were over $150. But would I have an Excalibur? Yeah, but they're kind of like my Nescos too. I can break all the parts down and put them in boxes. Whereas the Nesco always sits up as a big box. To me, it's a storage nightmare. Knee and elbow jarred back a little. Okay. All right. Well, you keep an eye on it, okay? Did you have an Epsom salts bath? Or are you like me and you can't get in and out of a tub? Do you know what I did the other day? The jet on my pool is so strong. I was swimming around and our pool's at 80 degrees. And I had pulled my back. And as I swam by, I felt the jet hit me and I went, ooh. So I went and I stood up against the jet and I moved myself around and I got that jet all over the lower part of my back on either side of my tail, like where my hips are, and up and down. That felt really good. You think your right leg went out. Shouldn't you be asking your doctor about that? Here's me talking. Last night, I couldn't walk by the time it was time to go to bed. My left ankle kept going out. When I say out, I don't mean it dislocated. It just wouldn't support my weight. I would get a stabbing pain. Hey, Karen Parsons, Rosie Slade, how's it going? I know, but it's not hot enough, right? And I'm not a huge one. I'm not a huge one for hot water. Like when we had a hot tub, Howie loved it, but I want to get a hot tub, just not the temperature he kept it at, which was like almost boiling, because that'll raise your blood pressure. But I want to get a saline one so that it's like an Epsom salts bath every time I get in. Hell House Paranormal, hello! Yeah, have your leg checked. Keep an eye on that. How are you? How are you, Hell House Paranormal? So I've made a conscious decision that even though I'm going to post on social media, the only real social media I'm going to actually interact with is my Respectful Hearts Facebook page and my patrons, and here on YouTube. Because anything else, anywhere you go, it's really, really negative. And guess what? The more negative it gets, the harder it is to find your way into the light and the faith light of your, because they're too busy keeping us. Just think about the ants in the jar, right? You put 2 different breeds of ants in a jar, and they're so busy trying to figure out what this new place is and where they're going to put their kids and what they're going to feed their kids tonight, that they're not paying attention to they're worth a totally different breed of ants, until somebody comes along and does this and shakes it up, and then they immediately blame the other ants. because there's nobody else to blame. That's us. We immediately, every time something goes wrong, we immediately look for somebody or something to blame. And we need to remove that from our vocabulary. We need to stop looking at each other and going, why aren't you vaccinated? It's a moral obligation. You're blah, 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 my rap, blah, blah. We need to stop allowing us to be prodded into that behavior. And social media is the biggest bunch of muscle when it comes to, next to Twitter's even worse. So, hi, Lisa Martin. How are you? You're welcome, Sandy Candy. Take care, Mark. So I've made it like if Howie wants to watch like regular TV, right? He can, but I don't watch anything with commercials unless he's, he gives me the volume control and I mute the commercials. Because I'm so sick of, hey, and what do you mean you don't love me? Did you make it with him last night? And it's like, there's no basis for real life in all this crap they're trying to shovel down our throat. Sherry, baby. I know I sing that for Sherry from Two Family Homestead, but I haven't seen her in a while. Oh, yeah. We are being pushed into being divided. That's why I still have TV. Hey, Elaine. We still have TV, but we have TV on demand as well. Yes, I'm back with the Devil Bell, but I'm not making any changes that they can hide shit, right? But I have it so that I can mute commercials, or we will pre-record stuff and skip through the commercials. You know what I mean? We have a right to make our own minds up if we want to have the vax. I said that, and I'm now banned on YouTube for 3 months. Really? Really? Huh. Well, I mean, I've been saying it for a very long time. Censorship is alive and well on social media. And this is a form of social media, right? Hey, Rosie, how are you, darling? So, who do you think owns the TV stations? Our government. Public broadcasting is public broadcasting. Anything else is owned and operated by the government. So, I mean, I'm, and between announcements that they're going to start making people mandatory get mandatory vaccinations and mandatory masks and arguing about whether or not people should get vaccinated, and all this stuff is just at a constant level of, it's like Chinese water torture. It's dripping on your head and you can't move to get away from it. Well, in this case, we can. We don't have to be that. We don't have to go through that. Shut off the social media. Shut it off. Yeah, I post that I'm going to go live on social media, but I don't actually go through social media very much because I just find too many people with too many opinions that they're willing to argue for. And I just don't want to argue. My opinion's mine, yours is yours, right? Shouldn't stop us from having a civil, loving exchange, right? Excuse me. Hey, Della. How's it going, sweetheart? It is bullying. It is bullying. And, it took me years, and I mean years on YouTube, before I realized that I didn't have to adopt other people's opinions. I can just say, well, that's your opinion, and I don't agree. So it's not my opinion. That's yours. Even when their opinion was about me, still not my opinion. Still none of my business. Just because you feel it's necessary to tell me your opinion about me doesn't mean I have to listen. All right? Where it took me 10 years, 11 years, 12 years almost, 11 years on YouTube, because I'm almost at 12. Next month, I'll be 12 years on YouTube. It took me 11 years on YouTube to realize that I don't have to wear other people's opinions like a hair shirt. They don't belong to me. You want to be nasty? You want to look at me and say that I'm a fat pig who knows nothing? Fine. I don't want to hear about it. Why? Because if you want to live in that negative headspace, you keep it to yourself. And if you don't keep it to yourself, I will block and delete. Why? Because I can. It is up to me to control, not control, I hate that word. It is up to me to live within the acceptable parameters of my life where I feel comfortable and safe. And if somebody comes in and wants to make me feel uncomfortable and unsafe, I have the right to say, go away. So do you. And that applies to social media. Who cares if it's mainstream news? It's just as crooked as everything else. No, I have not heard from Dallas. And the only reason I'm finding any comfort is that I am on her list, her call list, if anything happens to her. And I have not been called. They hide behind their phones or computers. You're a beautiful lady. Well, thank you, Della. I'm not a beautiful, you know what? You say I'm a beautiful person inside and out. I'm not. I'm no different than you. I'm just making different choices than I used to. I choose not to allow negative people to beat on me just because they can. Just because they have a negative opinion of me doesn't mean I have to stand there and listen to it. It's got nothing to do with me. It's everything to do with what's going on in their head and their heart and their soul. I am not a beautiful person inside and out. I have struggles. I have challenges. I am a broken person just like everybody else because none of us is perfect. We're all imperfectly perfect. But our choices often reflect where we are headed in our lives. Right? So, yeah, I'm building a studio down the basement. No, I'm not using the green screen. I have decided. 9 years on paranormal. I've been trolled and my channel's taken down. Hey, Angel. Social media, family, and friends, no negativity. I can walk away, not a problem. Right? But the thing is it's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle. Howie has been telling me for years, let it go. But he didn't know the right words to connect with my brain. Men, I don't know if it's a man thing or a Howie thing, but he can just let it go. I have to work through why it's upsetting me in the first place. Then I can let it go. Right? And more often than not, in the past, I never understood why I was so upset. So, I mean, these things take time and growth and work. We all have flaws, but we have the choice to be the best version of ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Timothy. How are you, darling? Ramblin' Rose. Well, I mean, some men get it, and some men don't. And all, we have been raised for millennia. Every bit of our social structure changes from one decade to the next. But it's still these are still controlling changes by society. Okay? Our societal social structure is so full of holes. Our political structure, our system of health, our UN, um, higher organizations in churches. These structures are Swiss cheese and ready to collapse. These political, social structures need to be torn down and rebuilt because we're at the point where we can't poke any more holes in this system. It's shaky. It's like a scaffolding that somebody just keeps removing apart from here and apart from here. It's Jenga, right? Hey, Sandra Moore, I'm doing good. A two-family homestead has been very ill after surgery performed in April. Cannot walk. Is better but needs our prayers. Oh, I hope. It wasn't. I know she had to go for an adjustment to her gastric bypass surgery. See, when I had mine done, there is no, like, sometimes they will make it small, and then when it stretches, do it again. Well, I only had one surgery, and they made my stomach the size of my thumb. And for months and months, all I could eat was a tablespoon at a time. But I really hope it's got nothing to do with that, because I would be really upset. We'll make sure she's in our prayers. Absolutely. Have to go and finish laundry. Enjoy the rest of the wonderful Sunday. Well, I'm not going to be on here too long because Howie and I had lunch late, but I have some things I want to do. I want to spend some time with my hubby. He's been living in the coach through the heat wave because it's just been too hot, right? And today it's like nice and cool. The windows are open, no fans are on, and it's actually, I could almost put slippers on. And he walked in the house and he goes, wow, it's cool in here. And I have a way of keeping it as cool as possible, right? And he said, I may get to move into the house tonight. I went, yay! Okay, Joanne, mwah, take care. So, I mean, we make 1,001 choices a day about how we're living our life, from putting one foot in front of the other or staying in bed, from deciding whether you can hold your pee or you better stop and go now. What's for supper? What do you want to have with your supper? What parts do you want of your supper? Do I want my hair up? Do I want my hair down? Do I need a shower today? Do I just want to go for a swim? Hundreds and thousands of decisions every single day, every single minute of our life. And now that I've spoken, I'm getting hot. There we go. So that's because I have the curtain closed and there's no air circulation. My window's open, but there's nowhere for the air to go. So we make all of these. Have you changed your mind about going gluten-free? I haven't even. No, but I'm actually removing a lot of carbs from our stuff. But no, I haven't changed my. I haven't decided. I'm not there yet. Take care, Yoshi. Run the family is hungry. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thank you, Yoshi. Mwah. So we make 1,001 decisions in a day. Whether that can change where our day ends up, right? You make every decision. If you start thinking about every decision you make, and I'm not necessarily about turning right or turning left when you walk out of a doorway. I'm talking about when you go to check your email, when you pick up your phone to check Facebook, when when you're flicking through the TV. We make 1,000 decisions a day that could change the way we feel by the end of the day. So when it comes to social media and television and political discussions with friends and family, all these things, think before you switch it on. Think about whether you take time. Think about how you're feeling right now. I'm feeling like I got a hair tickle in the back of my neck because I didn't get it all on my braids. So you know what I mean? Oh, I'm glad, Seashell. So anyway, this is kind of what tomorrow's tea break is about on our half-acre homestead. So if you're an our half acre homestead person, don't worry if you don't want to see it. But I mean, I kind of talked about unplugging, right? I don't necessarily mean unplugging completely. Just pay attention to what makes you angry, like I did when I saw the Twitter. And it only took me a couple of times of going into Twitter to realize that I can't go into Twitter and come out untouched by the negativity and trash, right? So social media, pay attention to how it makes you feel. Television, pay attention to how it makes you feel. Because guess what? If it doesn't make you feel happy, joyous, free, and safe, change the effing channel. Because that's where the true power lies. Within us. Right? I just realized that it won't be that long till Christmas. Yeah. Huh? Bite your tongue, Papa says. But the truth is, like I put some pictures of snow from last winter up on Facebook and said, anybody sick of the heat yet? Right? And people are like, no snow. So I toned it back and I put a bunch of autumn pictures. No, we're not ready for autumn. Yes, we are. I remember when Howie and I were first together, our first vacation together, July was so hot that, we just kept telling ourselves, we got to make it through to the 1st of August so that we can go on holidays for a week. And we were freezing on our holidays. I had to go borrow a pair of sweatpants from my dad because I took only shorts. And we realized then, and we've stuck to it ever since, we don't take vacations when, dear?
The end of August.
The first week of August. The first week of August. Because it's always cold. Well, today is the 15th of August, and it's the first cool day we've had. So, yeah, I mean, even when it was raining, it was hot.
Actually, we usually do take it
last week of July, because it's usually the hottest week of the year. And we remembered from our first year at Long Lake never to take the first week of August because it's always cold. But this year, no, it's the 15th of August. This is the first cool day we've had. So don't tell me things aren't changing. But Thursday is my birthday. I'll be 60. Well, Sandra, you come back in on Thursday because we go live with the Wolfies, or Life with the Wolfies goes live on Thursdays, usually in the evening, around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then I'll sing you happy birthday. I'll sing you happy birthday. I haven't sang happy birthday in a long time. I guess that's all people wanted from me on our half-acre homestead lives. But the reason I did a tea break talking about this stuff, and I'm sure I was a little more clear about what I was talking about because it was a tea break. But there's a lot of people who just cannot stand my live streams because I jump all over the place. And it just makes them nuts, right? Like, it doesn't make them nuts. It just irritates them. So they don't watch. So whenever I try and do like a tea break once a week or a garden update for our half-acre homestead so they know what's going on. How is Gracie handling Papa's recovery? I'm sure she makes a great nurse. Oh, she's mostly stuck to his side. Where's Gracie, dear? How? Where's Gracie? Where's Gracie? Right beside Daddy. Right beside Daddy. And at night when he's in the house, she comes to my side of the bed to get her bedtime treats, which is she gets hemp treats at night because they help her relax. And she sits there and stares at me over my shoulder. It's like, no, I'm done. Go lay down. And then she looks at me again. I say, no, I'm done. Go lay down. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she goes and gets him to bed with Howie. Like, the only time she sleeps with me now is when, he's out in the coach and he doesn't want her in the coach. You know what I mean? So she's doing good. She's a really good nurse. As a matter of fact, the day he came home from the hospital, the day I went and brought him home from the hospital, she was in the truck with us. But I got Howie to go in the house first, and I brought her into the porch and shut the doors. And I said, now listen, Daddy's been through a lot. He's not doing too good. So you have to be gentle. Well, she went in the house, and instead of jumping all over, she got excited and dragged her rope and shook it. I had to hide her rope but I said, no, Gracie, Daddy's not up to it. And then she went over and she sniffed where they went in through up to his heart, and she sniffed where all the electrodes had been and where they had taken blood and intravenous and stuff. And she looked at him and she laid right down on the floor at his feet. Didn't even get up on the couch. And went, okay, I know what my job is, right? So now she's getting a little more, but she's been really gentle with him. Always a heat wave in eastern Kentucky. That's when our kids go back to school. Oh, God. I can remember going back to school the first week of September and we're having to wear long pants and stuff. I'll never forget because I was in high school and my friend was in grade 6 and I was in grade 9. No, she was in grade 7 or 8 and I was in grade 9. So I was in high school ahead of her. And I had to walk I had to walk a half a mile from my bus stop to home, right? So I'm walking and walking, and then I hear water and I hear splashing. And my best friend Geraldine and her little brother and I think one of her friends was down at we used to call it Keep Out, but it was Watson's cottage. And they had a little dock on the creek and you could jump in. And I remember I was so hot that I was wearing long pants and a long sleeve shirt and a lightweight jacket that matched my pants. And I walked down that driveway. Instead of going home, I walked down that driveway and I peeled my coat and shoes and everything off as I walked down. I dove fully clothed right into the creek. First week of September, but first week back at school. Geraldine. Well, actually, she doesn't necessarily go by Geraldine. My dad nicknamed her because we've been best friends since I was 12 and she was 10. And I had a really hard, got to tell you this story. I had a really hard time remembering her name because the only time I'd ever heard of Geraldine, now this is putting myself back in the age bracket here, was from the Flip Wilson show. And he played a character called Geraldine. So when we first were looking at buying the property, my dad and my cousin Bob, God rest his soul, God rest both their souls, went up and looked at the property in Apsley. And my dad stopped at the first house next to the property he was looking at. And he wanted to ask about water and all that stuff. And they said, they were taught, he knocked on the door. And I was wearing one of my dad's, I was 12. I was wearing one of my dad's old Toronto Hydro green work shirts. And, over a tank top. And I had a bandana hanging out of my pocket, my jeans pocket. And I had short hair. I looked like a boy, I guess. I don't know. Because while my dad and her folks and my cousin Bob were talking, I was just standing looking around. And I guess Geraldine and her best friend, Brenda, we're looking out, like up on the kitchen window, looking outside going, oh, isn't he cute? I hope he moves in next door, right? And then we met up later and she found out I was a girl and we thought that was really funny. She told me the story. She thought I was a guy. Not the first time in my life, right? So anyway, when my dad bought the property and my family came together and they put in the foundation and Viceroy came and put up the shell and the roof. But Dad, we did everything else. We did the foundation. My cousin Bobby, God rest his soul, did the plumbing. My brother-in-law Marty and my brothers did all the block work and all this stuff, the pouring on the basement floor, everything, right? But I was living with Uncle Jim and Aunt Audrey while they were building the house because Dad was staying in Toronto at my sister's and then coming up and working all, staying and working on the thumb and then going and staying, or they'd stay at Uncle Jim's for the weekend or whatever, right? So, and then after, at the end of the summer, Aunt Audrey took me to Saskatchewan by train. Long story short, I know it's already been a long story. When I get back, I go over to ask Geraldine if she wants to come out to play. Yeah, we used to say, can you want to come out and play? We used to say those things. But I forgot her name. And her mother answered the door. And I said to B, I said, can your daughter come out and play? And B's reaction was, just a minute. And she went in the house and she said, that impertinent little bugger, already after my daughter. And Geraldine's going, Mom, shh, it's a girl. It's a girl. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, Lady J, just popping in and happy to be able to make it in the live with you all. Blessings and love to you all. Well, listen, folks, it's been an hour. And I'm going to go and start dinner because it's 5 o'clock. I have to go to the garden first and look for some zucchinis and beans to stir fry with some onions. Maybe I'll pull a leek, a fresh leek. Yum. Anyway, so now is the time that we come together for all those who care to. If you don't want to stay for the closing, blessing, that's okay. There's no judgment here. None whatsoever. Okay. But if you do want to stay, and when we connect hearts and connect hands, you use your faith, the God of your understanding, to fill you with light and love. Okay. Excuse me. I have no nose hair, so it causes nasal issues, running noses and postnasal drip and all that fun stuff. All right. So for all those who care to, let's take a nice deep breath. Oh, great Spirit, source of all. Hey, God, how's it going? By the way, God, as I say every day, thank you for giving us your Son to teach us, to bring us back to what is really important, and that is love. Oh, God, we're having some really crazy times right now, God, and it's been going on, and it's been battering us for years, since December 1919. Ooh, 2019. Went back over 100 years. But then September, back in 1919, we were at the end of the Spanish flu, right? Anyway, God, we are being battered. We are being battered by each other, by people's opinions. We're being battered by illness, by governments, by churches, by other people. We are being battered with the onslaught of total immersion into media, mainstream and social media. It's ripping us apart, God. So, God, I just want to ask you to help everybody to know when it's time to turn off the media and turn to you. We got friends too, God, that are fighting illnesses and pain and looking after loved ones who are fighting illnesses, and people who live alone and are afraid or addicted or neglected or rejected. We lift each other and all those people up to you, God, so that the light of your love may pour down over them like honey on hot toast and soak in and soothe, even if they're too distracted to know what's happening. Let us pray for them, God, so that they can get some measure of peace of soul. But God, we still have one thing left we want to do. We want to link hearts And we want to link hands. And as we link hands, God, we create a big, beautiful, international circle of love. And God, we just want you to pour the light of your love down through the tops of our heads and flood our bodies with the light so that it shoots out our hands and into each other, and we become a circle of brilliant light and love. And the more we focus on it, the brighter it gets, until it is no longer us, but a big circle of light and love, and we can no longer contain it. We push that love out, and it becomes a big, beautiful, clear, iridescent soap bubble style dome where people who are having a hard time focusing on their light, having a hard time with family and friends, illness, finances, disease, anger, pain, isolation, where all those people can find a place to shelter God. And the dome protects them, if they choose it to keep out the negativity. Help us all, God, to keep out the negativity, because anything that's negative is not love, is it? And it's all about the love. Thank you, God, for the love. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Blessed be. Peace be with you. Whatever it is that you choose to say hello to your higher power and goodbye to your higher power, just know that when we link hearts and we link hands, we are all heard. Remember, sometimes, most of the time, positive feelings are a choice. Take care. God bless. See you guys on Thursday.